Hi, I thought I would do a little chat on health today, more of your physical health. So, I'm big on meditation and spiritual practices and clearing emotions and any sort of mind, body, spirit, health and well-being practices or healing modalities. And I thought I would talk today more about nutrition or supplements, because that's a really important part of our well-being. It influences our emotional and mental well-being as well as our physical well-being. So everything works together, mind, body and spirit. So we want to pay attention to all of them. So I just thought I'd share a few things that I do in my for my own body. Sometimes I'm slack and I forget to take things, and then I can kind of feel it as well, and I know I need to up something. So one thing that is really important is zinc. You can get little zinc drops and drop them in your water. Our soil is very deficient in zinc, and it's a really important part of our health. Also stress, I believe, depletes your zinc levels, and you can get all sorts of side effects from having a lack of zinc in your body. Another thing that I really like to take is trace minerals. So this is something that I take, a couple of teaspoons in some water, and it's got over 70 trace minerals, which are really important for your health. I do know of another brand that has the zinc in there as well, and also iodine, which I sort of try to eat seaweed, and also not just one type of seaweed. Iodine is really important for your health. It affects hormones, and also it's really good for helping with the sort of radiation, using our cell phones and computers. Being low in iodine affects it gives us more strength around to support that, which affects our thyroid. So all sorts of things can go on with everybody. So I'm just sort of talking about what I use. Basically, I've had some kind of health issues in the last couple of years, and I was sort of trying to figure out what that was by myself. Was it that I was low in iron because I was very tired? And then I was looking at my hormones, because I just felt that they've probably always been quite out of balance growing up. And I was gaining weight. I couldn't understand it. I was actually getting quite puffy. Anyway, I figured out what the problem was, and a really big contributor to your health is damp housing. So that's a really big problem in New Zealand, and I had basically cleaned all of the ceilings basically in my house. The bathroom, one of the rooms in my house really doesn't get any sunlight, and I have been breathing obviously this air in over the last few years, but I've also cleaned the mold without, this is black mold, without having any face mask on. So basically I spent a whole day cleaning, and because I wanted to kill it, I've since learned otherwise, but I used bleach, and that's not something I really don't like to use, but I sort of didn't know any better. I didn't really realize the side effects that mold can have, and so I breathed a lot of this in and ended up really suffering in the summer, major fatigue, completely tired. I would just go and do a load of laundry, and then I'd walk back upstairs, and I would just have to lie down for a couple of hours. And I wasn't really I didn't really relate, the ingesting of the black mold. To that, I was having problems breathing. I might sort of be talking to someone, and after a sentence, you know, during a sentence, I'd be puffing away. And also, you know, going swimming in the ocean, I would just have real problems breathing afterwards for quite some time. So it was affecting, you know, fatigue. My lung function was, you know, really poor, and it was also causing, you know, bloating, weight gain, because it was affecting my hormones. So it's been a pretty major journey actually getting back to good health, and with support of different things like minerals and spirulina. I often make spirulina with fruit and coconut water in the morning. That's really good. And the biggest contributor to the problem I was having through the mold inhalation was this here. So it's a clay basically that really it draws all of the heavy metals out of the system, which is a problem for most of us, you know, using deodorants or having fillings, or if we were vaccinated, we've got some of these heavy metals in our system. So basically I was taking that supplement 3 times a day, and really it sort of just releases through your urine. It was amazing. It took some weeks, but basically it really put me back to good health, and I felt quite passionate actually after going through that journey about wanting to share the effects that mold can have on our systems, because New Zealand is is known to be very damp, you know, housing for many people, as it is in many countries. And the day I found out that this is what my problem was, why I was having all of these health issues, 2 people actually said it on the same day. I was asking to, you know, for guidance to get back to good health, and a friend of mine sent me a Toxic World Summit on toxic mold. So I listened like anything to these professionals, and it's been a major issue for many people. This was filmed in the States, so lots of scientists, and you know, I just went for the clay because it felt like the right thing for me to do, and it really did make a huge difference. So anyway, so I just thought I would share that today, because it's really important that we're taking supplements if we need to, you know, zinc and magnesium, and you know, selenium, we are quite deficient in our soil, so it's great to eat well, but sometimes we need to do a little bit more. And I think things like trace elements are really, really good, and vitamin C. I also I like taking plant herbal remedies, and that kind of got my hormones really back on track as well. You know, if you've got any issues at all, you know, it's possible to you know, get back into balance, and plants are a fantastic way to do that. Basically every plant, well, I don't know if every plant, but through this sort of seminar I went to, plants have, I think it's by memory, 700 to 800 chemicals in the plant. And then, you know, if scientists were to extract something to make a science-based supplement through that, the idea of the healing properties a plant has, they would extract just one chemical. So if you go for a plant remedy, you're basically getting so much more, and your body understands and processes that without having any side effects. Your body can recognize that a lot better as well, and then you're not dealing with sort of addiction issues to some sort of a chemical. This is one lady that I love her plant remedies, Plant Rhythms. She's based in Titirangi, she's fantastic. She'll muscle test, or to find what you need the most. I also go to Harvest Whole Food in Grey Lynn, and they can, there's lots of people on hand who have great knowledge, that have studied at Well Park or wherever, and can sort of basically get you the right mixture. And it could be anything from dandelion to cleavers to poke root. I mean, so many of these plants are just fantastic. So another sort of thing that I had was maybe issues with circulation. Like if I go for a big walk, I would get really puffy, like my fingers would swell up and I couldn't sort of take my ring off afterwards, or so that was not a huge big deal, but obviously I was having issues with circulation, and that all just completely went away just through taking the plant remedies. So some of them can help with your lymph, your hormones, circulation, there's so many things I can't even begin to tell you. So anyway, I just thought I'd share that today, just to maybe inspire you to look further into your health and what you're taking, and just to look after your body a little bit better. All right, see ya.